All right, so in a problem like this, basically, ladies and gentlemen, when we're looking into solving, which is exactly what this problem we're trying to seek, the first and most important thing that we need to do, exactly as I went into those boxes, we have to have it, when we're factoring, the whole purpose of factoring is have it set equal to 0. So the first thing I want to do is set my equation equal to 0. So to do that, I will get the 7x on the same side. So I have 2x squared minus 7x equals 4. Then I'll subtract 4 on both sides. So I get 2x squared minus 7x minus 4 equals 0. Does everybody see what I did? So I set my equation equal to 0. Yes? Now, basically, what I need to do is I need to, again, as we talked about, take this expression and rewrite it as a product. Because if I can rewrite it as a product equal to 0, then I can apply the zero product property, right? And that's the way we're going to solve, because we can't solve it using our traditional method. So I'm going to take a box. I'm going to create a nice little box. And my problem comes in is we always want to take our first term, put that in the upper left-hand corner, take our last term, put it in the bottom right-hand corner. But the problem is now we have our middle term, and we don't have enough. We have two boxes we need to fill, and we only have one middle term. So therefore, we need to create two values that add up to give you our middle term, but then also multiply to give you our last term times our first term. And what we call that is our a times c. So that's why we create this little x here. So we want to determine the values that multiply to give you a times c, which in this case, a times c is -8, but then add to give you -7. So we want to figure out what two numbers multiply to give you -8, but then add to give you +7. And can anybody think of these on your head? -8 and +1. Do you have any questions? -8 came from a times c. Remember ax squared plus bx plus c? 2 times -4. So you always got to multiply your first term and your last term. Now, before when we were doing this, when a was equal to 1, we didn't have to multiply. Well, we did, but 1 times c was always just c. So now, actually, I'm going to write these in a different color. So does everybody agree with me? -8 and 1 multiply to give you -8 and add to give you -7. Does everybody agree with that? Now, let's rewrite the equation. 2x squared minus 8x plus 1x minus 4 equals 0. Does everybody agree with me that if I rewrite the equation as it is right there, that -8x plus 1x is the same thing as 7x, as -7x, right? It's the same thing. But now I have two values that represent 7x rather than just one value. So what I'm going to do now is use those two values. And it doesn't matter where you place them. It doesn't matter where you place them in your box. But you're now going to fill them in for the other two. Now I can complete my factoring. Now I can do like how we started class, right? Now we can just factor them. So it's important when doing this is to first set it equal to 0, to put your first term in the upper left-hand corner, the last term in the bottom right-hand corner, then figure out your other two values for your other two boxes. And now it just becomes that little factoring game. All right, what two numbers multiply to give me 2x and 2x squared? Obviously, that's going to be 2x and x. Should I put the 2x and x here? Should I put the 2x here and x here? Or 2x here and x there? The first one. I'll help you with that. So then 2x times what gives you -8? That's -4. X times what gives you 1? That's +1. So therefore, I can now write that 2x plus 1 times x minus 4 equals 0. Does everybody agree with me that this times this gives you all of this? Yes? And all of this is that, which is the same as that, right? So now I can apply my zero product property. So I set both of my equations equal to 0. Subtract 1, 2x equals -1. Add 4, x equals 4. Divide by 2, x equals -1/2. Therefore, the solutions of this quadratic is x equals -1/2 and x equals 4.